So, with the UFC coming back this week, I decided that time to kick off the UFC with, well, my new week of videos with a tier list, the definitive tier list, the best tier list of the best current UFC fighters, where I place them on a tier list and my explanation for it. So I, King of MMA, have got and gonna define the definitive Australian tier list. So yeah, the Instagram's live. If you like the Instagram, go to the Instagram, and yeah, let's get it started. So for the first person on the tier list, we have Jonathan McAuliffe. I should actually, discuss what these are. So for example, F tier, you haven't won in the UFC at all. You're just not good in the UFC. D tier, you're either really not that good or like you haven't proven yourself enough. C tier, you've kind of proven yourself as a as a UFC fighter. Like you win some, you lose some. BT, you're a fringe of top 20. You're a top 15 guy, maybe. AT is like top 10 and possibly like a title contender. And ST, you've been a champion in the last year, or you are a champion. But yeah. So for Jonathan McAuliffe, I think we did D tier. I'd say C tier, but he still has to fight one or two more. He had a real good fight with Kevin Josette. And Kevin Josette's a tough guy, even though he's in PFL now. So, yeah, I think that's a good placing for Jonathan McAuliffe. I think he needs more fights. He's fighting Oban Elliott at UFC Sydney. So, yeah, that'll be good. And, yeah, on to our next is Junior Tafa. For Junior, I think we put him in D tier. I think that's fair for Junior. I think he'd understand. Bro, you lost to Sean Sharif. Sean Sharif is terrible, but I think Junior is okay enough of a light heavyweight where he could still like win against the bottom of light heavyweight. So, and Justin isn't on here. Justin, he's left the UFC, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Anyway, Junior, he's a D tier athlete. He's all right. He's okay. And for Stuart Nickel, he's going straight in the F tier. I'm sorry, but Stuart Nickel has not won one fight in the UFC, and I'm pretty sure he's been finished in both of his last fights. So, yeah, I think Stuart Nickel, if they give him another chance, he's definitely... I don't know. I think he's getting done, honestly. He's just looked terrible in both performances. For the next one, we've got Big Train Nolan. I think he goes B tier. I think Tom Nolan is a fringe top 20 lightweight. And we have dudes like Quayle and Salkild and man, lightweight's looking so good for the Aussies and stuff. Then imagine Tom Nolan versus Jalen Turner, or Tom Nolan versus Bobby Green, or you know what I mean? Tom Nolan's like, he's winning more than he's losing, and he's like winning heaps. So yeah, he's fucking good. Watch out for Tom Nolan. He beat Charlie Campbell in his last fight in a scrap, so that was awesome. So yeah, so he's a good B tier. Jacob Malkoon, I'm gonna be honest, I don't rate Jacob Malkoon, but I do have to put him in the C tier. He wins some. I don't rate him, but yeah, he's a C tier fighter. I don't really rate Malkoon. He wins some, then he loses some, but he wins more than he loses. Does that give him right to the top? I don't think he's a fringe of top 20 though. There's a lot more fighters ahead of Jacob Malkoon. I think he's a very average guy. His last knockout was with his hip. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, Tai Tuivasa. Oh, shit. I kind of want to put Ty in the F tier, but I'll put him at D tier only because he's losing to the best at heavyweight as fucking shit is heavyweight. Like, heavyweight's dog shit. So that's not a high bar. And he has lost his last 5 fights in 2 years. I want to put him in FT, but we've got to see how he does against Teixeira. So yeah, we know how Ty has been going. If he wins this fight against Teixeira, I'll put him back up to the C tier. Anyway, on to another Australian heavyweight, Brendo Perisic. I'm gonna put him above Ty. I think he's looking like he's gonna become a top 15 heavyweight. I think he's gonna do real well against his next opponent. He looked really athletic and really fast for how big he is. And I think he's going to be the new age of heavyweight in Australia. So, yeah, I'm excited for Brendo Perisic. So that's good. Jamie Malarkey, the hooligan. Jamie. I really want to put him in B tier, but I'll put him in C. I think Jamie's a really good fighter. He versus just some real tough opponents like... He fought Brad Riddell, he fought Mauricio Rufy, he fought fucking Nasrat Hasparat. And, man, that's just tough outings. And, yeah, you got to feel for Jamie. And it's just rough. It's real rough stuff. He's fighting Quaylen Sourkild. That's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. But we never know until they're in the cage. I really hope it's a scrap. We win either way for the Aussies. So, yeah. I'll put Jamie... I think he's a C tier fighter. If he beats Quaylen, I'll put him in B tier. I think that's right. Khan Ofley. Ooh. He won his last fight, so I'll put him in D tier. You know, do I put him in front of Tai Tuivasa? He's a flyweight, is he? Or bantamweight? I can't remember, but, you know, he's fought some tough competition and he won his last fight. He was in this bit of a scrap and then, yeah, he got his neck, like he got on his back and onto his neck, so, yeah. I guess Khan Ofley's a D tier fighter. Robert the Reaper Whittaker. Currently, look, I love Rob, but he hasn't looked so good in his performances. But in saying that, he's still an A tier fighter. Like, as much as I want to put him in the S tier, he hasn't been champion in the last 5 years, let alone last freaking 2 years. So for that, I have to put Rob in the A tier. He's still a top 10 fighter. At the end of the day, he's still ranked. He's still like the great Robert Whittaker. Not the great, but he's still Robert the Reaper Whittaker at the end of the day. So yeah, he's still an A tier fighter to me. So that's self-explanatory. And for Jake Matthews, listen. I know he lost to Neil Magny. Who gets beaten by Neil Magny? Everybody does, apparently. I still think Jake Matthews is a pretty top tier fighter. I think he's a B tier fighter at least. Now bottom of B tier, but he wins more than he loses, and he's always been on the fringe of top 20. Always, he's always been on the fringe of top 20. He's never like. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he's always there. He's always in that like top 20, top 25 spot. And he always like wins more than he loses. And he only loses to the best of the division. Like his last few losses, besides Neil Magny, were like Michael Morales, Sean Brady, and friggin' not Prates. I forget, but he's had some tough fights. So yeah, Jake Matthews, I think he's a nice B tier fighter. And yeah, Colby Thickness. For Colby, I put him D tier because, yeah, like, he didn't look great in his last fight, but considering Alexandre Topuria ran through his last opponent like worse than he did Colby, I think that makes Colby look a lot better. So, I think Colby's got a lot of potential, but he has to like just improve his striking and stuff, and just sit on just be a bit more like flat, not flat footed, but you know what I mean. He just got to sit on his strikes a bit better. So yeah, I think Colby's a D-tier fighter. Yeah, he's a D-tier fighter. I'll put him at the front. Like I'll put him next to Mikhailov. So yeah, Quaylen Sourkild, I have to put him in A tier. So B tier, not A tier. Sorry, I have to put him in B tier. Like he is. Hold on. This is gonna be my red list. I think that looks right. Yeah, he is 100% like even though he's unranked. I've been tempted to put him. He's he's in the top 20, I think, confirmed. Quaylen, and like, dude, he's just not knocked out, but he's impressively beat his last three opponents. He beat Nasrat Hasparat, who, if you didn't know, beat Jamie in under a minute, which, yeah, that's insane. But, man, I think that's going to be a good fight between Quaylen and Jamie. Quaylen beats Jamie. He should get a ranked opponent like Rafael Fiziev if he loses to Mauricio Rufy, or maybe even Rufy versus Quaylen would be a sick fight. So, yeah, I think Quaylen is going to be a future lightweight ranked fighter. Shannon, the Turkish Delight Ross. F tier. Bro, if I could put like him below F tier, I would. Shannon Ross has lost 4 fights. He lost in the Dana White Contender Series, and then he lost 3 more fights. It's like, I don't even know. He's still in the UFC roster somehow, so I'm sorry, but Shannon Ross is terrible. I don't like saying that about Australian UFC fighters, but he should never been signed, and yeah, that's just my 2 shits about it. Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon's really impressive. I'm gonna put him beat the shit out of his. So I'll put him above Colby, but not much. Like Cody Haddon's 1-0 in the UFC, and Colby's 1-1. So I guess they're kind of like right next to each other. As much as I want to put him as a C tier fighter, yeah, I want to see him fight more people. And like, yeah, I think he is going to be around a B tier fighter by the end of the year. And yeah, I think he's going to like look super impressive doing it. I think Cody Haddon is not a ranked bantamweight, but like we got to see. So yeah, I do like Cody Haddon. Casey O'Neill, I've got to put her in A, only because she is ranked at women's flyweight. I don't really, she's a women's flyweight fighter. She's still ranked at the end of the day. Like I do have to put her in the A tier, only because she, like I could put her in a B tier. I don't really rate her that much as a fighter, but yeah, she is a top 10 fighter. She hasn't fought in like 2 years, so I don't know. It's just whatever, isn't it? Michael Scott, A tier. I still think Steve Erceg's a really good fighter, even though his fight with Odie Osborne was pretty shit. But I still think he's a top 10 flyweight. And I still think like he could go on another run. He's not like washed or anything. He just got fast tracked too fast. So yeah, I think Steve Erceg is a banger fighter at the end of the day. Yeah, I do hope he comes back to fight March maybe. That'd be good to see. I want to see him fight Tim Elliott. That'd be a sick fight. So yeah, JDM, he has to go S tier. Like he was just champ. Like he lost to the greatest fighter of all time. So I'm not gonna like dump him down the A tier because he just lost to Islam Makhachev. That's like, if I put Volk fucking down in the A tier for that, that's ridiculous. He lost to the pound for pound best in the world. So, JDM, he's beaten some tough welterweights, but he was a champion literally not that long ago. So yeah, he's an S tier fighter straight away. Jack Jenkins. Where do we put him? I think he's C tier. I think I'm going to put him above Jacob McCoon because I think he gets injured in a lot of his fights. I think a lot of his fights, he's just getting injured, and that's how a lot of his losses are curing. So, yeah, I think Jack Jenkins does have a lot of potential to be a B tier fighter, but it's just we've got to see how he does this year and how he recovers. So yeah, can't wait to see him. And he's he's the only featherweight, Aussie featherweight. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the only Aussie featherweight. So yeah. Second to last, Jimmy the Brute Crute. I think we put him. Oh, B. I'm gonna put him B. I'm gonna put him in the bottom of B. I think that makes a lot of sense because he just pulled out of his fight with Dustin Jacoby, but that was probably to fight for a contender. Like, so whoever won that was probably going to be in a fight for the top 15. They're both, they're both like ranked, they're both fringe top 20 easily. Like, I think Jimmy Crute was 18 and Jacoby was 16. They're fringe of top 20. That's what B tier pronounces, is like these guys can be ranked this year. It's not hard to believe. But yeah, I think Jimmy Crute's a great grappler. It's too bad he'll be out all year probably, so that's sad to see. So, but I think he's a B tier fighter. And for Volk, he's the GOAT. So, you know what? Ooh, like he's S tier. I'd make a GOAT tier, and Volk would be in that. So yeah, this is my definitive tier list. Let's see. Let's recap it. So we got Volk and JDM in the S tier. Obviously, they were champs. We got Rob, Casey, and Steve. I'll put these two. Yeah, I think that looks better. Rob, Steve, and Casey in that for being in the top 10. In the B tier, we've got Quaylen, Tom Nolan, Jake Matthews, and Jimmy Crute. In the C tier, we've got Jack Jenkins, Malkoon, Jamie, and Pericic. D tier, we've got Mikhailov, Cody Haddon, Colby Thickness, Junior Tafa, Tai Tuivasa, and Khan Ofley. And F tier, we've got Stuart Nickel and Shannon Ross. Yeah, I think this is I think this is exactly where they are in their UFC career. Like, everyone in F tier will get cut eventually. Like, that's just the truth. D tier, they're either starting out or they're like, if they have one or two more losses, they definitely get cut. C tier, they're mid-level fighters. They're just, they win or lose, or like there is potential there. B tier, they're on the fringe of the rankings. You know how that is. So like Crute's on the fringe of the rankings, Quaylen's on the fringe of the rankings. A tier, they've fought for a title or come close to fighting for a title, or they're a former champ. And S tier, they're champs in the last year, or they are champs right now. So yeah, this is the definitive Australian tier list. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Follow the Instagram, King Here MMA. Trying to get the 50 followers, and on the YouTube we're trying to get to 10 subscribers. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on the video, and thanks. Bye.